Hey, boys and girls, I must ask you a question. But wait, I know what's on your mind. You're thinking, why in the world am I wearing a jacket in my house? That's weird. No, it's not, because it's so cold in here. But, anyways, back to that question. Are you guys ready for phonics? Because I totally am, and I'm so excited. Go ahead, go get your workbooks, and let's get started. All right, so let's get started. So we're gonna start off with lesson 101, okay? All right, so I want you to echo these words that I'm about to say, but I also want you to be paying attention and listening to the final position sound in each of these words. What is that sound that you're hearing at the end of each word, okay? So that first word is session. Go ahead and say it, session. Okay, your next word is tension. Go ahead and say tension. What sound do you hear at the end of each of these words? Good. All right. So if you said shun, you're absolutely correct. All right, boys and girls, let's take a look at these words, session and tension. Can you guys take a look at these words and try to figure out what is making that sound shun in each of these words? If you said S-I-O-N, you're absolutely correct. S-I-O-N is making that shun sound in these words. Now I want you to echo these words with me and still listen to that final position sound in each of these words, okay? Say fusion. Fusion. Okay, the next word is version. Say version. All right, so we have fusion and version. What do you hear at the end of those words? You hear jin, right? Fusion, version. All right, so I'm gonna write down these words that I just said. Let's take a look at the word fusion, and the next word is version. I want you to try to figure out what's making that sound jin. What letters? If you said S-I-O-N, then you're absolutely correct. So we know that S-I-O-N can make the jun sound or the shun sound as well. So S-I-O-N is a final stable syllable because they're in the final position. Their sound is stable and it doesn't change, and they have their own vowel sound, and that's the definition of a syllable. Remember that when we code final stable syllables, we use brackets. And after we do the brackets, we need an accent on the final stable syllable, and that is going to be right before the bracket. So I want to talk about, let me erase all this. There's something unusual that occurs when a word contains the letter I and a final stable syllable. So let's take a look at this word right here, vision. Okay, we would think that the I would be long, but it makes a short sound. Just remember that the letter I sometimes does not follow the rules when it is found in combination with a final stable syllable. So if you have coded a word like this and it doesn't sound right, try that short sound of the letter I and see if that's a word that you recognize. Hey, you've made it to lesson 102. Hey, I have to tell you, before we get started, Harper has been looking at me sideways all day long, and I don't know why. She wouldn't tell me, but I was so confused. Is there something on my face or something? I don't know. Anyways, lesson 102. Go ahead and echo these words with me. The first word is chew. Say chew. Say flu. Say stew. What sound do you hear at the end of each word? Stew, flu, and chew. If you hear ooh, you're right. Let's take a look at these words. Let's look at chew, flu, and stew. What letters are making that ooh sound, like in chew? If you said EW, you are correct. EW is called a digraph because there are two letters making one sound, ooh. So we code digraphs by underlining them. All right, boys and girls, we're on our last lesson, lesson 103. All right, so let's take a look at all of these root words. We have stop, drip, and run. A root word is a simple word that doesn't have anything added to it, such as a suffix. Ed, y, and ing are all suffixes. A suffix is something added to a word that changes the meaning of a word. So are these vowel suffixes or consonant suffixes? They are vowel suffixes. The suffix y is always a vowel. When we add the suffix ed to the word stop, what is unusual in the new word that is formed? In each of these words, the final consonant was doubled before the suffix was added. See, it was stop with one p, and then when we added the suffix ed, we added another p, so there we doubled it. Now let's look at some other words where we added a suffix. So we have snoop, and we added ed, and it became snooped. And then we have milk, and we added y, and it became milky. And then we have rim, and we added less, and it became rimless. So tell me the root words in each of these words. We have snoop, that's a root word, milk, and rim. And what were the suffixes? Ed, y, and less, less. So, are these vowel or consonant suffixes? Well, ed and y are vowel suffixes, and less, less, is a consonant suffix. Hey, did you just notice that we didn't double any of the letters like we did in the word stopped? Well, let's talk about why. We're going to be using an interesting procedure to help us decide when to double the final consonant before adding a suffix. So, the procedure involves using check marks. So let's take a look at, that word stop. Okay, when we add the suffix ed, okay, it became stopped, and we had to double the pp. Well, how do we know when to do that? Well, if the root word, such as stop, ends with a vowel and a consonant, you're going to put a check above the word, just like that, okay? And if the suffix is a vowel suffix, you're going to put a check above that, just like that. And that's how you know to double that final consonant in the root word. All right, let's go over that one more time. Look at the word stop. Pay attention to the last two letters at the end of stop. You have to ask yourself, does it end in a vowel and then a consonant? If it does, you can give it a check. If it doesn't, no check. Then look at the suffix. Is it a vowel suffix? If it is, yay, you get a check. So if you have two checks, then you know you can double that final consonant in the root word. All right, so let's take a look at one more example. Let's look at the root word seat and the suffix ing. Does the root word end with one vowel and one consonant? No, it doesn't. It ends in ee. So that's a no. And let's take a look at the suffix. Is it a vowel suffix? Yes. So we could actually place a check over that. But since we don't have two check marks, then we know that we can't double that final consonant. All right, boys and girls, so that completes our lessons. Make sure that you do your classwork that follow these lessons. And if you need support, obviously you can ask your parents. I'll see you next week.